welcome to lecture 10. Today we will discuss about what we have left in the lecture 9 about the 3 component system, and we will discuss on Raoult's law, ideal and real solution. So, when we talk about 3 component system, we in the last class we learned how we can draw this triangular phase diagram. Now, as we can we are discussing about the 3 component system here. Basically, we started with 2 partially miscible liquids are given, and to which we are adding a third component, that is your B, and this B is soluble in both A and C. So, as it is soluble in both A and C, at a particular concentration of B, at a particular concentration of B, it will be able to mix A and C, and it will exist, these 3 components or 3 liquids together, they will exist in one liquid phase. They will exist in one liquid phase, one liquid phase. Okay. We can correlate it with the temperature which we have used in case of phenol water system. At a particular temperature, as in phenol water system at 66.8 degrees Celsius, what happens if we hit above this temperature? Then the phenol and water will exist in one phase in whatever proportion they are taken. Similarly, at a particular concentration of this B or a third component, this 2 immiscible liquids, which condition applied is that this B should be miscible with A as well as it should be miscible with C, then they will exist in one phase. Now, we will just begin with taking an example. Suppose A is water. Let me write it properly. Suppose A is water, okay, and B is your benzene, okay, and B, oh sorry, I did a mistake here, C is your benzene, okay, C is your benzene, here C is benzene and B is your ethyl alcohol. Okay. Now, this ethyl alcohol is soluble in both, it is soluble in benzene as well as it is soluble in water. So, it is soluble in both. Now, what happens in this case, as we know that in this case, suppose A and C, these are partially miscible liquids, and till this diagram, this is, suppose it is denoted by small a, where it is denoted by this small a. If this small a, this is your F and this is your D, this is your E, and suppose here I take it as G, suppose I take it as G, and if this is your H. Okay. So, this A, F, D, E, G, H, this represents the limit of solubility of A and C, limit of solubility of A and C. Till A, till this small a, this A and C are miscible with each other, and here A is present 100% and C is 0 here, and as we move towards this small a, with just a small increment of C is done, and from this 0 origin to this A, they are miscible, and again they are immiscible, and again from H to C they are miscible over a very small range. Okay. And here this line represents this is a binodal curve, and below this curve they here exist two liquid phase, okay, and above this it exists one liquid phase. Okay. And the condition applied is that this B is miscible with A as well as this B is miscible with C. Okay. Now, what happens? Same we can just do an analog, we can create a similarity with the phenol and water system, their temperature was used and here a third component or the solvent was used to make them miscible. Okay. And here what happens, the tie line which is produced in this 3-phase system, it is not necessary that it should be parallel to this A and C, but in case of 2 component system it was that the tie line was parallel with A and C, but in case of 3 component system it depends on its miscibility. If this B is miscible to same extent, if it is miscible to a same extent with in A as well as in C, if it is miscible to the same extent, then the tie line will be parallel to A and AC. But if the miscibility is different, then the tie line will also be different and it will not be parallel. Okay. And along this tie line 2 conjugate phase exist. 2 conjugate phase exist means any system which falls in this tie line, they exist in a constant composition at equilibrium. So, with the help of this we can find out the relative composition of the phases. If we know composition of one phase, then we can find out the composition of the other phase using this tie line. Okay. And above this it will exist in one phase. Then here are some of the typical phase diagrams of 3 component system. Here we can see that AB is miscible with each other and AC is miscible with each other, whereas BC is partially miscible. Similarly, here also you can see AB is AB and BC are partially miscible and AC is miscible, and here AB is AB as well as AC as well as BC, they are partially miscible. And the example we studied, the example which we studied, it is also a system where A and C are immiscible with each other, whereas A and B are miscible, B and C are miscible. Okay. Now, this is a system between which shows your 3 component system within your methyl salicylate, isopropanol and water, and here is also a 3 component system which is drawn between your polyethylene glycol, water and peppermint oil. So, then so this is all about your 3 component system. Now, we will discuss on the ideal and Raoult's law, ideal solution and Raoult's law, ideal solution and Raoult's law. So, before starting with Raoult's law, we should understand about escaping tendency. What is escaping tendency? See, when a body is under thermal equilibrium, when we can say a body is under thermal equilibrium, when the temperature of both the bodies are same, then we can say that the body is under thermal equilibrium. So, when a body is under thermal equilibrium, then there is no movement of heat takes place. But if the temperature of one of the body is increased, that if a body is hotter compared to the other body, then the heat will escape from hot body to cold body, hot body to cold body. It is the tendency of the heat to move from a hotter body to a colder body. And so, the temperature is actually your quantitative measure of the escaping tendency, and when a body is at thermal equilibrium, the escaping tendency of each constituents are same in all parts of the system, and quantitative measure of escaping tendency of materials which undergoes physical or chemical change is measured by using free energy. And even vapor pressure is also a measure of escaping tendency of a material. And why this escaping tendency is so important? Because when we talk that when we say that certain substance or certain molecules leave the surface, then mainly this escaping tendency, we are talking about the escaping tendency. Then comes your for constituents of solution, it is the partial molar free energy or the chemical potential which is used to express the escaping tendency. Chemical potential as well as your partial molar free energy can be used to express the escaping tendency. Now, before starting with the ideal solution, as already I have stated that vapor pressure is also a measure of escaping tendency. So, before starting your ideal solution, we should understand what is Raoult's law. Raoult's law states that in an ideal solution, the partial vapor pressure of each volatile constituents is equal to the vapor pressure of the pure component or the pure constituents multiplied by mole fraction of a mole fraction in the solution. Vapor pressure already we have discussed in the last lectures, and mole fraction also we know that it is, suppose we are considering two types of molecules A and B, then mole fraction of A and B, if I say mole fraction of A, then I can write it as number of moles of A divided by total number of A plus total number of moles of A plus total number of moles of A plus B. Okay. Then it is your mole fraction. So, what does Raoult's law state? That partial vapor pressure of the constituent is equal to the vapor pressure of pure constituent multiplied by your mole fraction. Now, if we draw it in a graph and we see here, if we plot a graph between vapor pressure and the composition, vapor pressure and composition, here we have A, here A is 1, mole fraction of A is 1, here mole fraction of B is 0, and here mole fraction of A is 0 and mole fraction of B is 1. So, as we have here it denotes the, at this point in this x axis it denotes the vapor pressure of A. So, here it is the vapor pressure of pure A only for the constituent A, here vapor pressure, and you can see that as we go or move from A to B. A to B. As this B is added to this A, what is happening? The vapor pressure of A goes on, the vapor pressure of A goes on decreasing till it reaches 0. See, you can see this, the vapor pressure of A is decreasing. Okay. And here you can see this represents the vapor pressure of B, and here this represents the vapor pressure of B at this point. And as it is, we are moving from B to A, as this amount of A is added to B, what happens? The vapor pressure of B decreases. That means, when we add a second component to the first one, the vapor pressure of that component decreases. Vapor pressure decreases means the escaping tendency decreases, because vapor pressure is a measure of the escaping tendency. So, here we can write down that, and this represents your partial pressure of A, and this represents partial pressure of B. So, the total vapor pressure is equal to P A plus P B. Then we will and this Raoult law, it is applicable only for ideal solution, only for ideal solution. So, first we will see what we understand by an ideal solution. Okay. An ideal solution is a homogeneous mixture of your substance that has physical properties linearly related to the properties of the pure component, and it will follow Raoult's law under all standard temperature and concentration. Here, according to your ideal solution, when we discuss about ideal solution, most of the student must have started correlating it with ideal gas. But the difference between ideal gas and ideal solution is, in case of ideal gas, we say that no attraction force exists between the molecules. But when it comes to ideal solution, we cannot ignore the attraction force. Instead, what we say, that the attraction force which exists, it is uniform throughout in all direction. What does we mean by this? Here, suppose we have two components A and B, and in this case the attraction force between AB is equal to the attraction force between AA, and between the and it is equal to the attraction force between BB. That means, we can say that the adhesive forces are equal to the cohesive forces, or we can say that the force of attraction between the solute and the solvent, if we are taking one as a solute and other is a other as a solvent, then we can say that the attraction force between A and B is equal, that is solvent and the solute, is equal to the attraction force between the solute, and it is equal to the attraction force between the solvent. And only solutions with low concentration of solute behaves ideally. Example is your benzene, toluene, chlorobenzene and bromobenzene. These are some of the examples of ideal solution. And as in ideal solution, the del V, that is change in volume of the mixing, is equal to 0. Neither there is increase in volume nor there is decrease in volume. What do we understand by del V? Here del V of mixing means, suppose the volume of A plus the volume of B, these are the volume of the, suppose volume of your solute plus volume of your solvent, when it added, it gives your V A plus V B, means the final volume is also V A minus V B. So, if we subtract the final and the initials, then we will get 0. So, del V of mixing is 0. Similarly, del H of mixing is also 0. Now, we will discuss on non-ideal solution. What we understand by non-ideal solution? Non-ideal solutions are those which do not follow Raoult's law, That means, here del V mixing is not equal to 0, it may be positive, it may be negative. There may be an increase in volume or there may be decrease in volume, and del H is also not equal to 0. There may be a positive heat or there may be negative, there may be absorption of heat or there may be liberation of heat. Now, in this case what happens here, they consider that solute and solvent, these molecules will definitely, their molecules are different. So, if the molecules are different, how we can say that the cohesive force will be equal to adhesive force? How the interactions of the molecules with one another will be same as the force of interaction between the molecules of the pure components? There will be the difference in force. So, here the force of attraction between your solute and solvent will never be equal to the force of attraction which exists between the solvent, nor it will equal to the force of attraction between your solute. So, here the force of attraction between your solute and solvent will not be equal to the force of attraction between solvent. And mainly your sulfuric acid, example is sulfuric acid and water, when it is added, then large amount of heat is liberated and there is a change in volume takes place. So, it does not follow Raoult's law, that means what? It deviates from the Raoult's law. So, there are two types of deviations. Okay? There are two types of deviation. Non-ideal solutions are also called as real solutions, which do not adhere to the Raoult's law. Why? Again the same explanation, that the cohesive force and the adhesive force of attraction is they will not be same in case of real solution. So, here two types of deviations are seen. One is your negative deviation and one is your positive deviation from Raoult's law. Two types of deviation, negative deviation and positive deviation. So, first we will read what is negative deviation. Again we have drawn the graph taking vapor pressure in your y axis, vapor pressure taken in your y axis, and composition which is expressed in mole fraction, it is taken in x axis. I repeat, vapor pressure taken in y axis and composition taken in x axis. Okay? Now, similarly, this dotted lines represents the values which would have been expected if it would have followed Raoult's law. This has been represented by your dotted lines. Okay? And the actual result has been given in this your solid lines, with these solid lines. Okay? So, first here we have the vapor pressure, here the vapor pressure of B, here the mole fraction of B is 1 and the mole fraction of your A is 0. So, here we have the vapor pressure of B. As we go on adding A to B, then what happens? the vapor pressure of of B decreases. You can see here, if it would have followed Raoult's law, then this dotted line would have represented its lowering of vapor pressure, but here the solid line which has been given with this pink dots, it denotes the lowering of vapor pressure of B. Similarly, here this is your PA, there is also a lowering of vapor pressure takes place along this solid line, and hence as here also the vapor pressure has decreased, here also the vapor pressure has decreased, then obviously the total vapor pressure, we know it is the summation of your partial pressure of A and B. So, here also the vapor pressure has decreased. So, when the vapor pressure of the solution is less than that expected from the Raoult's ideal solution, we say that negative deviation occurs. Example of these is your chloroform and acetone. What happens in case of chloroform and acetone? They form hydrogen bond is formed between chloroform and acetone. So, as hydrogen bond formation takes place, their escaping tendency is reduced than that of than that which would happened if it would have simple dilution. So, due to the presence of hydrogen bond, here the vapor pressure has or the vapor pressure, the total vapor pressure has reduced. So, this type of this shows your negative deviation, and in case of this negative deviation, what happens here? The attraction force between the solute and the solvent is much greater compared to the attraction force between compared to the attraction force between your solute or it may be solvent. Okay. So, the vapor in this case, the attraction force between the solute solvent is more. So, what happens? These are the this will facilitate the solution, means they will be more soluble, okay, and it will facilitate the solution. Here actually you must have remembered that in lecture 2 we studied that if we consider that the force of attraction between the solute and the solvent is due to your van der Waals force of attraction, then we cannot say that it is then we have to use the geometrical mean. But if we remove this geometrical mean and we say that other than van der Waals force, if hydrogen bond and other forces are acting, then this force of attraction between your solute and solvent will be greater than that of the force of attraction between your the solute and solvent. Okay. So, this is your negative deviation. Then comes your positive deviation. So, in the next class we will discuss about the positive deviation. Okay. So, in this case positive deviation in the next class. So, thank you. So, application and this deviation we will discuss in the next class. Thank you.